So we've all seen the Rishi Sunak attack ads from Labour, but Keir Starmer goes much further, and frankly, it's disgusting. Take a look.
Do you, Keir Starmer, believe that Rishi Sunak thinks that paedophiles should not go to jail? Is that what you're saying?
The figures speak for themselves.
No, I'm not talking about the figures, because we're talking about what it says here in the ad. Do you think adults convicted of sexually assaulting children should go to prison? Rishi Sunak doesn't.
Yeah.
Is that what you think?
I think if he did think they should go to prison, he'd do something about it.
So you don't think he thinks paedophiles should go to prison? Is that what you're seriously saying?
I stand by the advert.
So that's what the advert says? Is that what you're seriously saying?
Yes. I think that as Prime Minister, you take responsibility for what happens in your criminal justice system. He is not taking responsibility for it. And this idea that somehow you can ship in a new Prime Minister, we've had 5 of them now in the last 13 years, and that somehow he doesn't bear responsibility. They have broken our criminal justice system.
So
it is unforgivable what they've done to our criminal justice system.
Do you take personal responsibility then for every child abuser who escaped prison while you were Director of Public Prosecutions?
I take full responsibility for every decision of the Crown Prosecution
Service.
And
does that mean then you don't think that paedophiles should go to jail, or you don't think rapists should go to jail?
Full responsibility.
Is that what you're saying?
Now, I don't like Rishi Sunak, and I hate the Tories, but this is not an acceptable level of debate. It's one thing suggesting that Sunak has failed on a policy, but it's another to directly say that Sunak thinks child abusers shouldn't go to prison. And I think this tells us what kind of man Keir Starmer is. This is astonishing, and frankly, shame on those who defend Keir Starmer. I don't care if you're a Labour supporter, this is simply unacceptable. Now, this is no different to saying that, well, Starmer didn't want Jimmy Savile to go to prison. Now, do I think that? No. Starmer was not overseeing the case of Savile. What Boris Johnson said was a smear. However, Rishi Sunak hasn't been Prime Minister for even a year. In fact, he wasn't even an MP during the period in which the figures in the ad were cited. Keir Starmer, on the other hand, was Director of Public Prosecutions at the time. So if he wants to go down that route, then it's in fact Starmer who doesn't want child abusers to go to prison, which I think is an absurd claim. Now, aside from the absurd claims, he really is a political idiot, because, as we've seen, he's opened himself up to attack from the Tories by using the very line I just said, that surely Starmer is responsible for all those who didn't go to jail. But in this clip, he is so dumb, he is so stupid, he literally admitted himself live on TV that he does take responsibility for it. Now, if I was Starmer's comms manager, I'd be smashing my head against the wall. This is the first ever time a politician has said on TV that I, Keir Starmer, take responsibility for criminals, abusers, and a plethora of terrible people for not going to prison. It's incredible. And it's right there in a clip. I'm not trying to take him out of context, but he said the words, I take responsibility for every decision that happened under the Crown Prosecution Service, which not a single person would hold him to account for everything, yet he is literally asking people to do that. Now, of course, he wasn't saying that he doesn't want these people to go to prison, obviously, but the optics of it is just so bad. Plus, this pretty much invites the Tories to attack him. Now, he said that because I think he recognised that he's accused Sunak of doing that very thing, and it would be hypocritical of him to absolve himself when he was literally Director of Public Prosecutions. Now, I don't say this often. In fact, I've never said this. But Keir Starmer would have been wiser to admit that he's a hypocrite by trying to excuse himself, rather than admitting he takes responsibility for those that didn't go to prison. And again, just think of the optics. Would you rather allow yourself to be called a hypocrite, or someone who is responsible for child abuse to escape prison time? Wow. I can't believe I'm saying these words. I can't believe he said these words. But this man wants to be our Prime Minister. Now, the two parties as a whole, as closely as they align, are different. But in my honest opinion, and as a leftist, and I know some people call me a Tory enabler for criticising Starmer, but to be honest, I don't take those people's opinions seriously. But as an individual, as a character, as a person, I genuinely believe that after this, he is a worse person than Rishi Sunak. Now, you've got to remember, it was Boris Johnson who made the Savile claims, and it was Rishi Sunak who distanced himself from Johnson's comments. But Starmer, he's allowed himself to sink so low for this kind of gutter politics, but he's so unbearably stupid and unambiguously terrible in the media that he's literally admitted to something no one has ever done before, and no one would in their right minds. Now, for the hardcore Starmerites, do you still think he's clever, politically viable, forensic? Because, I'm sorry, This might be the most politically inept person ever to run for office, and given the past 5 prime ministers, well, that's a tall order. Yet, because the Tories have literally destroyed themselves, this complete idiot that is Keir Starmer is almost certainly going to be our Prime Minister.